Learning to catch unbroken waves is certainly a humbling process. It requires a lot of practice and perseverance. One of the best ways to accelerate your learning process is to identify your most common mistakes and correcting them before they become strong habits. This video will demonstrate the top 10 mistakes we see our students make when learning to catch unbroken waves, along with some tips on fixing them. If you are in the process of learning to catch waves on your own, check our online coaching platform at tutorials.barefoot.surf. It contains more than 20 high-quality online courses, one of them specifically on catching unbroken waves. In it, you'll find video tutorials on what type of wave shapes to aim for, how to adapt your approach accordingly to the daily surf conditions, how to use your head to catch more waves, how to avoid nosedives, and more. The course is included for free when you sign up. Let's start with the most common mistake, paddling into the wrong wave stage. Most of the time, novice surfers fail to catch unbroken waves because they either paddle into it when the wave slope is too gentle or when it's too steep. If you want to catch more waves, you need to position yourself more precisely into the proper slope. Think about a skateboard ramp. The steeper it is, the more acceleration you get. The bigger the ramp, the more speed it provides. Waves work similarly. The bigger and steeper they are, the more forward momentum they can provide you, although the more difficult it will be to take off on them. This is extremely important to understand and visualize. You want the wave to pick you up at the precise moment when it has the right shape, without it being too soft or too vertical. The second very common mistake is not looking over your shoulder. It is closely connected to our number one mistake of not paddling into the proper wave shape. In fact, not looking over your shoulder is often the cause of not paddling into the proper wave shape. The only way to learn how to position yourself better into the precise slope is to look over your shoulder. If you keep catching waves at either stage C or stage A without actually looking back at the wave over your shoulder, you aren't training your mind to be able to recognize quickly what a proper wave slope looks like and what it doesn't look like. Our third mistake is to ride a surfboard that is too small for you. If you're riding a bigger surfboard, this means that you have the flexibility to catch the wave sooner at stage B-, since you won't be depending as much on gravity and a steep slope to get you into the wave. You will depend more on gravity and a steep slope to provide you with acceleration on a shorter board, since your paddling speed is limited. Initially, it can be quite challenging for beginner intermediates to aim for steeper wave slopes as their wave reading skills are limited. Therefore, a bigger surfboard will make the learning process easier and more fun. Being afraid to nosedive. Misconceptions about nosedives can cause multiple issues and bad habits. One that's very common is novice surfers moving backwards on their surfboards, thinking that they nosedive because they have too much weight towards the nose. It then becomes extremely difficult as you can create loads of drag and can't match the wave's speed. Do not be afraid to nosedive. Let go of what your instincts are telling you. You do need as much paddling speed as possible, and in most cases, you do need to keep your head low to put weight over the board's nose. For more information on what causes surfers to nosedive and what does not, along with our best advice for avoiding it, check out our video tutorial called Avoiding Nosedives, available for free on our Catch Unbroken Waves course on tutorials.barefoot.surf. Avoid learning at the wrong spot or in the wrong conditions. Every surf spot has a different bottom contour. Waves break faster when the seafloor slope is drastic, and they will break more slowly when it's gentle. On such waves, surfers have much smaller error margin. Their positioning and timing need to be very precise. Waves will also break differently according to the tide, the wind, the swell direction, and more. Trying to learn at a spot where the waves break very abruptly, at the wrong tide, or with a strong onshore wind will make it harder. Make sure you learn about the spot near you and the best conditions to practice in. Lots of beginner intermediates don't use their head's weight properly to get into unbroken waves. Imagine the difference it can make when you bring your head lower and closer to the surfboard as you get lifted up on a wave. This is what really helps you catch, stick, and follow the speed of the water hill that's moving forward. Sometimes surfers can come very close to catching a wave, but they just can't stick on it. In many cases, it's because they didn't keep their head low near the surfboard's nose. Do not move your head up and down. It will make the board flap up and down, disrupting the water flow underneath it. This will result in more drag and less speed, making it harder to catch waves. Don't forget to give a few extra paddle strokes before taking off. Even when surfers have the proper positioning in a wave at stage B, a fast paddling speed, and the use of their head's weight to get into an unbroken wave, things can still go wrong. At the moment when surfers match the wave's speed and start to glide with it, they could forget to give an extra 2 or 3 paddle strokes and lose the wave as they try to do their takeoff. In the opposite situation, surfers might keep paddling for too long. In this case, surfers often end up dropping down the whole wave to the bottom while still laying on their surfboard. You need to quickly feel that you've properly started to glide with the wave. Your ability to recognise when you've paddled enough will greatly improve with practice. Do not paddle with too much angle for a wave. When you start learning to angle your takeoff, try to focus on angling only during your last 2 or 3 paddle strokes to maximise your chances of catching the wave. Avoid paddling with too much angle, it will make it harder for you to catch unbroken waves. Do not change your paddle technique when you paddle into a wave. If you want to move faster in the water, you still need to maximise the surface area that pulls water backwards. Therefore, your technique doesn't change as much when sprinting. The theory explained in the tutorial on maximising propulsion is still relevant. The difference is that the paddle stroke frequency increases as you get closer to catching the wave. When it gets critical to paddle hard, experienced surfers keep the same efficient paddle technique, but they increase the number of paddle strokes per minute. They limit to the minimum amount of time between the hand coming out of the water and re-entering the water for another paddle stroke. If you want to learn more about learning to surf more efficiently, make sure you subscribe to our channel and consider joining our mailing list for exclusive information from us. At Barefoot Surf, we coach surfers one-on-one on our surf coaching retreats around the world, and we help surfers kickstart their surf progression journey through our online coaching platform and community. If you want to learn more about how to accelerate your surf progression, connect with a community of like-minded surfers, and solidify your knowledge on the foundations of surf technique, visit tutorials.barefoot.surf.